are here on Well Code, and today we will talk about a very important topic, and that topic is about learning how to code efficiently. Because I suppose that most people who will watch this video are trying to transition to a career in software development. If you are watching this, you probably already have a job that you don't like and you want to learn more about coding. You want to become a software developer and change careers, earn more, and of course, take the advantage of all the benefits of being a software developer. But a big obstacle for a lot of people in this situation is the fact that they already have a job. And because you already have a job, you don't have that much time for learning. You have to go every day to your job, or maybe even if you work remotely, you still have to spend a lot of hours in order to get paid and in order to do your job well. And that leaves you with little time for learning. And an important question here is how to spend that time. How do you know that you spend your learning time in an efficient way? How do you know that if you keep learning in the same way that you are currently learning, you will actually get to the end where you'll get hired as a software developer and you will quit your current job? And a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of people who are interested in becoming software developers, are trying to learn using various methods. And probably the most popular one is to watch coding tutorials and then try to learn from those tutorials as much as possible. And there's a lot of information out there. There's no secret that there are a lot of online courses, a lot of places from where you can start to learn how to code. But my question to you is, or maybe the question that you have for me is, how do you know which resources are efficient and how do you know which resources are not? Because if coding were so easy, and I've been saying this multiple times, if coding were so easy, there was not such a big demand for software developers. So if coding was easy to learn, probably there would be today more people who want to get hired as software developers who already have the qualifications, who already are able to build their own apps, and they couldn't find jobs. But currently the situation is the other way around. So there are a lot of companies who even offer trainings for the employees just to help them become programmers in a faster way, so that they can finish their projects or they can start new projects. And because of that, coding is not easy. It's not easy to learn programming. It's actually quite challenging, but in a good way, because by having this kind of entry barrier, the salaries will stay high, because there will always be a demand for qualified software engineers. And having that demand, it comes the question, well, if coding is not easy to learn, then probably most of the resources are also not the perfect ones, because I still believe that you can make coding easier if you learn using the right method. And having a full-time job brings you a big challenge, because you might be away from home for 8, 9, even 10 hours. And afterwards, once you're home, you will be tired. And probably you would do anything except learning. You will want to watch TV, you will want to watch your favorite TV series or play video games or whatever you can find except coding. And because of this, if it comes to learning, it will be very hard for you to just start and do something, and your brain will probably have the tendency to pick the easier subjects to learn instead of going for the difficult and the correct way of learning how to code, because the right way of learning is actually by doing it yourself. And I think this applies in every possible thing that you can currently learn. You need to learn by doing. So if you want to become a very good basketball player, you can't learn how to play basketball by just watching some basketball videos. You actually need to go on the court and practice and shoot and play with others and all sorts of things. And at some point you will also need to have at least one coach to help you become a good basketball player. And that is also true for coding. So here is a big trap that a lot of people fall into, and that is the learning for entertainment method of learning. So one of the coolest things about programming, about coding, about software development is the fact that you can build real world applications, and sometimes you can build video games that are addictive, that are fun, and that are cool to share with your friends if you build them. And because of that, a lot of times we are tempted to see and to watch how other things are made. For example, it's super entertaining to watch someone build his or her own video game. It's very entertaining, and you watch every step of the way, and you can't wait to get to the end of the video and see that game in action. And a lot of us are guilty of doing this thing, myself included. I sometimes still watch coding tutorials just for the sake of seeing the end product. But there is a big difference between learning for entertainment purposes and learning for getting a job, because after a lot of hours of work we are tired, but we don't want to feel bad with ourselves. We don't want to just watch some low quality TV series or some YouTube videos from a random influencer who talks about another influencer who did whatever thing, because that would make us guilty. It would make us guilty of wasting our time and of not moving our career forward. However, we are still lazy human beings, and we don't want to struggle that much with learning. So what our brain will try to trick us into is to learn, but actually also entertain ourselves, but by watching a tutorial or by going through a course that's simpler to follow, and that is also maybe a bit entertaining. And probably your question now is, well, how do I know if I'm in this if I'm in this situation? How do I know if my learning method is efficient or not? And in software development, this is a very difficult question to answer, because when you are learning, you need to have some sort of measure of efficiency. So for example, if you are learning a new sport, if you're learning a new team sport, you can measure it very easily by playing with others and see how you compare to them. So for example, in basketball, you know in each game how many points you score. The same is true maybe with driving. You know how fast you can drive from point A till point B. However, in coding, it's very difficult to do that kind of measurement, because the end result is to build a real world project. So if you want to be a programmer, your skill set is building real world projects. But getting to that point involves a lot of preliminary steps, which most of the times are super specific, and only someone with a lot of experience in coding can define those steps for you. And you won't know if you hit those milestones. And I even remember when I was in high school that at some point it was kind of like a revelation. At some point I just realized that I'm able to think in code, that I'm able to transcribe my thoughts directly on the computer and make the computer do whatever I want. But it was I was astonished when I realized that. But in getting to that point, I had lots and lots of small successes that I didn't even realize because there was no one to tell me this. And um, the best way to measure, so to come back to the topic of measuring your success, the best way of measuring how efficiently you are learning how to code is to think about code, is to think about different solutions that you can create, that you can build by writing code. So for example, if you have the problem of always being late, you have to be able to solve that problem by creating an application, maybe an alarm application for your phone, or maybe something that's web-based and that sends notifications to your computer. So this is an important thing to consider when measuring your progress. Are you able to solve problems? Are you able to build new things that solve those kind of problems? And if not, then there can be two reasons for that. The first reason is that you need to spend more time learning, that you haven't spent enough time and you haven't gone far enough with your understanding of coding. And the second is that you are using the wrong method of learning. And the wrong method is obviously just transcribing code without actually understanding it. So in order to have a good measurement, it's always better to work with someone who already knows how to code, because by working with someone who already knows how to code, that someone will be able to measure those milestones. And there are multiple phases when learning something. And the first phase is the unconscious incompetence. So you don't know that you don't know. That's the first step on the ladder. The next one is conscious incompetence. So you know that you don't know, but then here's the interesting part. The next step is unconscious competence. So you don't know that you know, and here is where magic happens when coding. Here is where the new information is assimilated, because once you become competent to some degree in coding, you will accelerate your pace when learning. You will accelerate the speed at which you assimilate information. You will be able to learn faster. You will be able to learn more complicated things, because as you might already know, you won't be able to build real world projects from day one of learning. You won't be able to create the next Facebook after 1 week of learning how to code. And you have to build, and you have to learn more advanced topic as you become better. And in this phase of unconscious competence is the phase where you become a better programmer. And the last part is obviously conscious competence, and this is the best place to be as a programmer, because here you will be able to build the cool applications. Here you'll be able to earn money by coding, by writing code. And here's the part where all the happiness is for developers. And of course, there's no point where you'll just stop learning, because technology is a very cool domain, because it's always evolving. There's always new technologies who appear. There's also a lot of cool things that haven't been built yet, and because of that, there will always be something for you to build. There will always be something for you to learn. But the difference here is that the learning is different when you are new to a subject compared to when you are already very good at it, because you can almost learn coding on your own when you are already good, because by having the basics already understood, the more complex ideas are simple ideas combined. And if you already understand the simple ideas, you'll be able to understand how those combinations are made. But when you are at the beginning, you don't understand the basic ideas. So the most complex thing that you can do is just copy whatever someone else is doing, which is not actually coding, and that will be bad for your for your learning progress, because once you're at an interview, at the job interview, you obviously won't be able to copy someone else's solution to the problem that you've been given. So that's the part where you'll see what level you're at. So I hope this was useful for you. I hope you learned something from it, and keep in mind to learn coding in an efficient way. And I can't wait to see you the next time. Don't forget, if you have any kind of questions, to write them below. And also, if you want to start learning how to code and be very efficient in learning, then go on Wellcode. Sorry, this is the wrong link. Go on wellcode.com, register for a free account, and I can't wait to see you over there. We have a team of mentors who will answer all the questions that you have. So I wish you good luck and can't wait to see you in the next